things could all go horribly wrong at any minute. And the rubber chicken says, what I learned from 2021 is that human beings get dumber by the second, and 10 seconds have just passed, so now they're even dumber. But what do I know? I'm just a rubber chicken. Well, many people believe that 2022 is going to get better. Oh, so you're laughing at us, huh, rubber chicken? Okay. I may agree with you, and maybe you're smarter than us. I know. We'll talk about this some other time. We haven't got that kind of a luxury because we've got to get on with Rantcast number 65, entitled Lots of Tools, Lots of Fools. Yes, sirree, we begin 2022 in the midst of a fucking shitstorm again, huh? The numbers are rising, but we have better tools in our toolbox. I keep hearing that over and over and over again, and I'm kind of sick of hearing it, but I'm glad we do have better tools in our toolbox. But we also have still a massive amount of fools out there who will just, who do not think that they're afraid of, they have trouble with going to a doctor. They don't trust them. They don't trust science anymore. I don't know if it's because they failed all their science classes and therefore fear it. But they'll show up at an emergency room and take whatever the hell they're giving them, and wander down the aisles of a supplement. Oh, what supplement should I be? God damn it! But they won't take the shots. Nope. They won't take the shots, so we're at the oh my God variant now. I'm not blaming them, but it does not help. It is the one thing that kind of stands between us and what appears to be just a fucking, we're like in that, the hamster in the wheel, and we're just spinning through it again and again. We're in that spin cycle. I'm going to read this. What does it take to get shots in their arms, huh? Because metaphorically, it seems that they would prefer to take their chances with a shot in their heads. Okay? I mean, I think that sentence kind of works. That they're leaving themselves open for it, for the Delta, for the Omicron, or whatever's next in the pantheon of variants. And meanwhile, we need to get it to the rest of the world, and it doesn't help when we're kind of going, no, we don't. We got a whole group of people who aren't doing it because they shouldn't be told that they should have to do it. Well, they shouldn't be told that they should have to do it. They should just fucking do it. All right, enough. Here we are in 2022, and the state of Virginia is at a standstill. That I-95, which I went up and down for years as I went to the University of North Carolina, and was always never a joy. Is now in the midst of a logjam. Yes, sirree, Bob, a traffic jam that is kept. It's 19 hours they've been sitting out there in a snowstorm. But we've got, and it took us this long to come up with, with an infrastructure bill. It defies description. Drive sometime if you get the chance. Drive from Washington into Virginia. Start on 495. Get a real good sense of that, and then whip on down through there. And it's crazy anyway with snow. Can't imagine. 2022. I hope you had a very lovely New Year's Eve celebration. We all hunkered down, all my friends. We were all alone. Everybody kind of went into their own private podette. I was stunned. Just blocks from where I live was the fabulous gathering to watch the ball drop because it's so important. I've never understood it. I don't know of any of my friends who've ever gone down there. It is really, people see it as an iconic moment. It's amazing. I see it as, I wouldn't want to be with all of the people that I'm, at the worst that I am drunk or to gather with all of the worst that I am when I'm drunk, of all of them. I can't, and to do it like now. And I thought, well, there's 15,000 people, they'll keep them spread out, not even spread out, right on top of each other, but they're outside. No, but they're right on top of each other. and they weren't masked. And maybe, and I hope that I'm wrong. Maybe it isn't bad. Maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's not a spreader event. But in the midst of the numbers rising here in the city and in the state and in the country, I was sitting there going, with 3 minutes left to go. I didn't turn it on till then. 3 minutes left to go. I'm sitting there going, holy God, look at this. I can't believe it. We're going to show the world that we're going to just, we're going to muscle through this. You don't muscle through it. Okay? You kind of have to do some things. It's not long. This is much better. We have better tools in our toolbox. And if we do, let's use them. It'd be nice if this was a tool in our toolbox, huh? This the brain. Maybe we can someday get that working. Sheesh, he said. Well, I idiotically made the decision last week that I would have this review of a year in review. And why would I want to review the year? Why would you want to sit through a review of last year? Okay? It was like the year before, but even worse. Maybe it was, but we did get a leg up individually. Now we got to get a leg up as a group. Okay? Now we got to get both legs up. God damn it. It was certainly better because we did come up with this vaccine. And that's for sure. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, things just seem to continue to spiral into shittiness. And now the airports are packed and people couldn't get home fast enough. And it was just a really, boom, there you go. And I'm going to go through last year. Last year was just, one thing after a fucking other. Okay? And news doesn't help. The news doesn't help because it's really just become awful. Ridiculous, because you either pick it up on your phone and then you get some kind of a thing and you don't know, because then you got to research if what you got was actually real or a fact or true. We don't get facts anymore. We get, and misinformation seems to be the king. Boy, that seems to hold a lot better than facts, because it just wears people down. They just go, I don't remember. It wears down the fucking memory, which is already wearing down in all of us. It's not just me. I'm sure of that. If you don't get together and you don't have the thing where you repeat day after day after day, where you kind of are like, I did this and I did that, and what did you do? And you have that interchange, that constant interchange that allows this up here to not turn into a bone marrow soup. Or whatever it's like, come on, so that the misinformation, the pounding of it, and then so the news comes on and goes, well, this is misinformation, and then they repeat it. Why repeat it? Okay, the people aren't watching who are getting the misinformation. All right, they go to places where they can get the misinformation. You don't need to repeat it for others. So the rest of us who are sitting by and kind of knowing it's misinformation go, I don't know how to argue with that anymore. So we roll into, it's January 6th in a couple of days, for fuck's sake, and when people don't have a memory, and then they started already from the very beginning. It's always tourists. I mean, fucking unbelievable. And you don't get removed from Congress for that schmuck saying it was tourists? You don't get him a psychiatric intervention? The tourists show up with clubs and fucking any kind of and flags and just beat the shit out of people, and that nobody seems to give a flying fuck. That somehow that a year has passed, we have no idea why no one showed up to protect the to protect people, huh? Just the Capitol Police were there. What are you fucking kidding me? A year? We need more than infrastructure. We need fucking investigation infrastructure. Christ on a fucking! It's just beyond. I can't believe I just said that. My brain stopped. You just said Christ on a. Well, it drives me round the bend. Somebody has to know something. There's a reason that the National Guard didn't show up. There's a reason that there was not a full force when they knew that this was coming their way, and even after they came their way, they couldn't get folks there fast enough to help them. Come the fuck off it. And and we've come up with no information. What the fuck what is the matter with us? Every time we turn around, we can't figure it out. And so all it does is feed the misinformation. Well, you see, they haven't got it right because they couldn't get this together because he wasn't the rightful president, And now more and more. And they keep saying more and more. How many is more and more? All right? Well, stop calling the percentages of the Republican Party or the independent and give us number. Find a number. Because right now, I believe it's a minority. And if it's a minority, then there's those of us who believe that he was rightfully elected to the majority. All right? And as far as I know in democracy, at least the way I got it in civics class, something that should be taught everywhere at this point, and I was going to look that up before I started this, but I forgot. I forgot because this ain't working. Are they teaching civics out there? Because it's the majority. That's the way it works. That's the way democracy works. And we try, we've not been really successful at it, but we try to protect the minority in its fashion. But basically, the basic drive is, what is the majority interested in? And then we try to come up with a compromise with the minority and move on. And but we're not getting numbers. We're getting percentage, and it's like they beat it like a drum beat. It's bad. Things are bad because that's what news gives us. Okay, they give us conjecture. All these people, they percentage. These percentages. Look at this, boy. It woulda, coulda, shoulda. Everything is either a conjecture or a conflict. Okay, or what's coming up, and what's coming up could be terrible. Everything's going to be terrible. And they probably, couldn't have been happier this morning to wake up with the news people. Boy, look, we got a big fucking traffic jam in Virginia. Boy, that's something new. We can get out of what's happening in Kentucky and the horror that went on there, and we can get right over to that and get some new horror going. We are pounding ourselves with horror. But information and facts would be fine. Okay? Following stories, I mean, granted, Gabby Petito's story, horrible what happened there, horrible. But they covered that every day. They gave that as much time as they gave anything fucking else on the news. Anything else. All right? Well, that's completely crazy. I mean, it's just this, I'm sorry, you don't give it. It does not carry the same weight as what it means in terms of infrastructure. I watched a ton of news, all right? And they should have gone state to state to state, gone through all 50 states. They certainly had the fucking time for it, and offered as much time every day to that. It's what that was needed in terms of infrastructure in those states is trying to find out where was Gabby Petito, and then where was the husband or the boyfriend or whatever the fuck he was. Unfucking-believable. Those become the stories. It's been just an unbelievable year. And the news didn't help. Media didn't help us in any way, shape, or form. They had a trial they voted to impeach Trump, but they didn't convict him. Many of the Republicans wanted, hold on. The folks who were running to hold on to that base that he was giving them, didn't want to upset his apple cart, not get on the wrong side of him, because even and now they can't even control the base. They can't control a lot of these people. He even, I've talked about it. He gets up and tells people he's vaccinated and been boosted. They boo him. These people can't even control the base. And now we've got in the news this year, we had two of the big front runners of, the big one is DeSantis, who's disappeared, during the past the spike in cases down in Florida. He seems to have disappeared. He's come up with all sorts of things. You're caught, and then I was down there, and they really seemed to. Many people really just embraced him, and there was an article here in the press about a family that was leaving to go down because they felt that we didn't handle the school situation well here, and that they did there. But but a lot of it was about masks in schools down there, and he didn't want to see masks in schools. But then the community said, fuck you, we're going to have masks in schools. So a lot of what made it work was a combination of local government fighting his government fighting the federal government. What the fuck? No communication, nothing. It's all about fighting. Oh, yes, sirree. And so he created it wasn't going to have people get vaccinated to get on a boat or something. I mean, what? Seriously? And now they're coming off the boats. They're having outbreaks on the boat, not because and they are vaccinated. He was going to send them up there. And I say this, it's unbelievable to me. So he had his day, and Abbott, is a part of that. Texas, the News and Review. You can remember Texas nearly froze to death early on in the year because they had that incredible. It was they had it froze down there, and they didn't have all of the equipment that they don't get the gas and oil. They don't get the oil exchange because they didn't want to be monitored by the feds, and so they fucking weren't able to keep their people warm, and so their infrastructure, in a lot of ways, was a piece of shit. And these people were fucking freezing, and and somehow Abbott comes out of it. How is he going to win? You do that alone? One would think they might impeach you for impeach him for that, or at least get rid of whoever's in charge of that company, or change the law. But you got Ted Cruz doubling down. Ted Cruz, a year in review, wants to makes his little speech. Maybe we should secede. Well, go ahead. Maybe we should secede and take this and this and this for this. What, are you kidding me? We're going to take the army. We're going to take what we got down here. Right, Ted? Went to Harvard Law School. Somebody's got to be kidding me. Who gave him a fucking degree? It's endless, senseless. And then Abbott now is yelling for federal aid. Only Abbott, he's got the federal government in court over mandates and vaccinations and masking and whatever else he's got him in the federal court system for. It's fuck you. And now you want help? I hope there's a negotiation. Please. All right? That you don't get to you don't get the aid until you drop the Fed cases, okay? Because we're paying for both of them. We'll pay to help. We're not going to pay to fight you on this. All right? Okay? If you ask for help, then you fucked up. Maybe ask for help about eating. Unbelievable. We had the delight of Facebook, which I've never liked from the beginning, and did a whole chunk from the very beginning. The first time I started dealing with Facebook, and that was really all I had to say about it. And it's just gotten worse and worse. Profits over people. The woman who talked to Congress, to that group of idiots. Kathleen has some great stuff about trying to explain. Having to explain to Congress what the Book of Faces is, or whatever she calls it. It's really brilliant. But at the beginning, I was disgusted by Facebook. It made no sense, and I was all of a sudden all of this shit was flowing in. There were no instructions to it. None whatsoever. Okay. And so she comes in and says, "Well, boy, they've been defining their and they basically, had come up with this thing, that they were torturing kids, torturing them, and then denying it. And we do this. We got an internal. No, we need to. From the very beginning, we've allowed certain things to occur that should have been monitored. We monitored television like there was no fucking tomorrow. From the very beginning, you're telling me the FCC, you couldn't give them the right to look at if they're going to call themselves social media, they're media. So fucking get them paying attention. Put more people in the FCC to fucking track their shit. Profits over people. Well, there's a shocker, huh? It might as well be that's American capitalism, for fuck's sake. That's the watchword of its faith. Profits over people. They're no different. There's the sound of a siren out there. Yep. And then it's rightfully played during the profits over people moment. Unfucking-leavable. And now he's got then he changed. He's got a meta. He's going to have the metaverse. Now he's going to help us with virtual reality. He couldn't help us with real reality, or whatever he thought reality was, which has nothing to do with reality. And now he's going to help us with virtual reality. He's going to be our guide. Is fucking anybody home? There's nobody who's going to stand there and go, "No, wait, we got to straighten out this before you can go there." You can buy property. Apparently, there are places now where you can buy property in places that are virtual reality. These virtual reality worlds that have been created, and go shop there and stuff. And this is where I've become too old and I'm lost because I don't get it. I just don't get it. We left Afghanistan this year. That was no fun. That was no day at the beach. That was horrifying. It was bad enough that you don't learn the lesson from Vietnam. Couldn't have figured out over the course of time, huh? That you get these guys out. Couldn't have gotten out the folks who had helped us. Couldn't have arranged in any other fashion. Couldn't have made it easier to leave. Had to make it look like chaos. Had to make us look like we don't know what we're doing yet. Fuck again. I don't get it. And you leave them naked to the wind. It's to a howling wind. God. And 100 years ago, or whatever, it wasn't that long ago, before the Russians entered there. Afghanistan was really one of those places people, when I was in college and before, that was a place people would visit. It was beautiful. Meanwhile, Texas comes up with a new abortion law, a vigilante abortion law. You catch somebody giving an abortion, getting an abortion, whatever the abortion thing, and cutting the time frame down to the fact that people don't even recognize that they are pregnant. You fucking just stop it. All right? And that goes, a vigilante law, and that goes in front of the Supreme Court, and they go, well, we can't really deal with that. We'll wait until we discuss. No, and you allow that law to continue and put once again women's lives in jeopardy. It's when do we learn anything? They certainly could have said, no, you can't have this law, because it opens it, up. Which is started. There's all sorts of vigilante laws that are coming up. That's just what we need. Basically, a whole new legal system, a whole new set of laws based on vigilantes. That's great. Because March, it turns out, was this year was the highest amount of, it was the most amount of guns that were sold. I'm sure there's been a record breaking since then. In March, most guns sold ever in this country. And that's really working out well. Now that everybody, maybe really we need, it's just, really, and we went through another whole series of shootings too, didn't we? Yep. Yeah, gun sales set a record that month. We don't have any clue as to how to to come up with to make it safer. No, none at all. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. And then we repeat, people go, and then the same repetition. Oh, we're going to say thoughts and prayers again. I'm not going to say thoughts and prayers again. I just said it. And so that leads us to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, where he wanders in with with a semi-automatic or automatic weapon or whatever it was that he shouldn't have been able to carry over a state line. And they don't even nail him for that. No, they don't nail him for anything, because apparently, really the prosecutors just didn't get it together, really, to kind of come up with a foolproof way to at least have him punished on some level, because 2 people were killed, okay, and another one injured, and he was shooting, all right, and so the defendants, the defense attorneys come up with a better explanation than we have. The people who shot, they're dead. They go, well, look, here we got these people to say, we got these people, and he was being, they were really coming after him. So what are you going to do? What's you going to do? And they couldn't, and that they fucked up, because at the end they're asking, can we ask for a different sentence? What the fuck? A different crime? What the fuck is the matter with you? Ask it from the beginning. If you thought there was a glitch in your thing, how does he get nothing? How did he not even get some sort of probation, something, that he has to have on his leg that they know where the fuck he is? It's just counseling 3 times a week. All right? Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, I could have read an endless amount. What else is there here before I wrap this fucking pathetic year in review? I could have given you a lot more, but it's just one thing after another. Everything just makes me go, fuck. Oh yeah. And then the bright spot, the 3 billionaires go into space. Huh? It's 3 space programs run by billionaires, and there's no really, we've got no problem with capitalism in terms of the fact that the divide between those who have and those who have not. They've got they're running space 3 separate people. Branson, Bezos, and Musk. I don't think people like Musk because of his last name, and they don't like that Musk smell. And that's my little joke for that. They're launching into space, 3 separate space programs. And we got our own space program. And they did a fucking phenomenal job, that space program, for all the shit they yell about the fucking federal government. That space program inspired a lot of people like myself who never really wanted to. I have no desire to go out there, but by God, it was inspirational to watch. It was extraordinary. It made me believe in a really great tomorrow. And I hope it's around the fucking corner. All right? I mean, for the children. Yes, for the children. I said it. Okay? For my imaginary children, at least. I mean, I don't expect it for me, but boy, I expect it for others. I hope that there is a great future. But I don't think that having 3 billionaires firing up these missiles, firing up these rockets, it basically leads us to, oh boy, this is a great future. This is a competition amongst 3 billionaires. Who's got the biggest penis? Enough is enough. And thanks to Congress for letting the child tax benefit slide to a halt, so that all of those people out there, while they're shooting rockets into space, the folks who really can use that tax benefit, it's $80 billion. That's what it cost to keep a bunch of kids out of poverty and to allow parents, well, what they're going to do. No, they didn't. All right. They didn't. There are a lot of parents who are getting fucked and their kids are getting fucked. And those kids and those are really going to wonder about their fucking tomorrow. Whew. Couldn't make 2022 a better year for them. Save money? Fuck you. Really. With all of what's going on, okay? $80 billion. That's it's disgusting on levels. It defy description. No, I'd like to have been. This should have been lighter as we entered 2022. But I'm doing this in the morning. It's not my favorite time to do it, but I did one last night. It was more bleak. I leave you with this. A Wall Street Journal report that Americans' use of foul language has exploded, partly because Zoom calls from home encourage less formal conversations. Cursing, as Executive Tracy Brady put it, is the yoga pants and Uggs of language. No, it's not. No, it's not at all. The reason that cursing exploded is because people are fucking fed up and they're angry and disturbed and anxious and depressed. And these are the words that allow them to get shit off their chest. Call it the Uggs. No, yoga, no. There are other words that are the Uggs and the yoga pants. Other adjectives. They're adjectives. Okay? But profanity? No. Profanity is the way in which we release that pent up, emotion, that all of that stuff that is buried for just a moment. And that hopefully by doing that, we don't pick up a gun or hit someone or do anything worse. It allows that shit to escape. Uggs doesn't allow anything to escape. Yoga pants don't allow anything. It allows you to go back to bed. All right? Don't you ever call profanity, Uggs or yoga pants. And that's really all I got to say, at least for 2022. Profanity is profanity. All righty? Well, I'm not going to try and fool you. You can tell that the lighting is different now. It's night, and I wanted to redo the ending to see if I could do it better. Wasn't pleased with the ending I did this morning, and I can't reproduce the light because the lighting guys have left. They've gone on strike. And they said, we can't work under these conditions in that tiny cable access studio you have here. The rants you are going to be hearing are from the show that we did in Virginia Beach, Virginia, what had been a sleepy little town at one time. I imagine folks who live there would disagree, but I've been going there for years, and it has really kind of grown into its own. And of course, they'll be going, "Oh, fuck you! It was better back then." But it really kind of discovered it had a shoreline, and there are all sorts of places popping up that are quite nice, and it's really grown since the time that I've been there, and it's a whole kind of it's a naval area, really. Norfolk, Virginia Beach. They tried to call it Hampton Roads for a while. That I don't think went, and I certainly didn't buy it. Great rants from there, as all of the rants as we went right up till the shutdown got better and better and better, as I've said. And it was just, that was one of the toughest things about having to stop the shows was, I was doing okay, but the writing that was coming from the audience was spectacular, and I think you'll find no different in what you're going to hear from Virginia Beach, and I think as once again you can see from the show how much I need that audience. I desperately need to be in front of you guys again, and hopefully all works out. And on the 21st and the 22nd of January. We'll be in Denver and performing there, and let's hope that it works the way it should, and that we're able to gather there. Because boy, without you, I really the circuit is not complete. You're the ones who really create the joke. You're the ones who make it possible. your laughter that is my guide. And it is really, and even without the laughter, as I've said during the shows that I've been doing, I miss being with you. I miss that relationship that we have. That to me is more important even than the laughter. That was not what I missed as much as your presence, and I look forward to that, and hopefully look forward to doing some Rant is Due if all goes well, and start churning those out after the shows. I'll do the show and then come back and we'll get back to that, and I really look forward to it. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. If you can get somebody vaccinated, God bless you. And yes, you heard me say that. Came out, I should have stopped myself. But it's a blessing if you can do that. We just need everybody to do it. We can see what happens when they don't. And once again, it's just quite simply, let me say, it's a pleasure. Even in this goofy sort of, cable access way, it's a pleasure to spend time with you. In this day and age, going online without using ExpressVPN is like changing while leaving your window wide open. You might not have anything to hide, but why give random creeps a chance to invade your privacy? Internet safety is a real issue these days. I, like almost everyone, use the internet for sensitive matters that I would not want the wrong people gaining access to. Whether it be a sensitive email, sharing banking information to pay a bill, or keep track of medical information. Additionally, did you know that internet service providers, ISPs, the people you pay each month for internet access, they have the legal right to access information about you, like websites you visited. Probably more infuriating is these ISPs can then legally sell your browsing history to ad companies and tech giants who can use that data to target you. ExpressVPN gives you the ability to browse the web anonymously and safely. ISPs cannot see your online activity, and your data gets encrypted for maximum protection. It's easy to use and can be fired up with the click of a button and works on all devices you have in your household. Phones, laptops, and tablets are all covered. You can also put it on your router so anyone that shares your Wi-Fi can be protected. It's perfect for someone like me who travels a lot and often finds himself on a different internet connection where it might not be as secure as I want. So secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/black today. That's expressvpn.com/black. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/black. We've all been there. You know that point where your online checking account balance is running low, and all of a sudden you get whacked by the bank with a $33 overdraft fee? I mean, who needs that? Overdraft fees have gotten way out of control. They're nuts. I mean, in 2019, traditional banks took $11 billion in overdraft fees. I'm repeating, $11 billion in overdraft fees. $11 billion. Chime, well, it does things differently. You see, what is Chime? It's an award-winning app and debit card that saved its members more than $10 billion in overdraft fees with its Spot Me fee-free overdraft. You see, if you're an eligible member, you can overdraft up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with absolutely no fees. Now you deserve to have financial peace of mind. Join the millions of Americans already loving Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/Lewis. That's chime.com/Lewis. LEWIS. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A., members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Limits start at $20 and may be increased up to $200 by Chime. Chime members' overdraft fee savings based on eligible members' use of Spot Me versus the $33 average overdraft fee. Overdraft fee data based on bank rate checking account survey and CRL. June 2020 overdraft fees report. We're coming to you live, as he said, from Virginia Beach at the Sandler Center for the Performing Arts. It's for the what?
Make America great again.
What? Ma'am? What? 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 Ma'am, can I tell you something? They can't, this goes around the world. This is the only way they can hear me. They can't hear you. You could have done that while I was doing the show. You had ample opportunity. I explained why I don't like to talk about that shit. I thought that I talked about it just a little, and I don't think, and I can guarantee you this, that America will not be safe or not be great because of what the fuck I said. If you haven't noticed, I have no effect on the universe. And bonus, that's why I do this. So you have the opportunity, since this is important to you, to write something in, and I will read it. If there's something that you want to get off your chest, write it in. Okay? I've given you the opportunity. Thank you very much for your time. See, normally, if this is a real TV show, I'd say, once you said that, let's go to commercial. But we're in Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is a place, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, this whole area, Hampton Roads, whatever, what's the Tidewater. This whole area has become more and more and more beautiful over the past 15, 20 years that I've been coming here. And a lot of people give credit to a lot of people about this, oh, it was this president, it was this president, it was this president. It wasn't the president who's president now, and it wasn't the president before, okay? What it was the people of this area going, fuck it, let's do something. That's what it was. If you think the president does it, you're out of your fucking mind. Any of them. Any of them. So, oh God. So, but it's become a big, people are racing here to retire, so that's going to fuck things up for everybody. They'll be going, holy fuck, look, we're going to stop here. We don't really have to go to Florida. And then you're screwed. But it really is stunning. And there's a very big presence of the Navy here, which is really vital. And those are and let me point out, ma'am, they're the ones who keep us safe. Not people wearing red hats. God damn it. All right. Mildly irritated, we go to this. Now, these were great, thank you. And I really would like to thank those of you here tonight who are in the Navy. I deeply appreciate what you do. I will, and for the lady who spoke, one thing you should know that I'm doing, Jeff and I will be going on a USO tour together. So that's... That'll be keeping America safe because we'll be out of here. This is from Robert Dene. Welcome to Virginia Beach, home of the worst drivers in the country. It's true, due to being one of the largest military towns around, we collect crazy motorcyclists, drivers who don't know what a turn signal is, and drivers that think driving 15 miles over the speed limit is a good start. Robert, just so you know, every city thinks they have the worst drivers on earth. And what I am really, and I just thought of, and somebody's going to make this, and mark my words, there should be a reality show in which you take two cities, and then they go there and then they find the worst drivers in both cities, and then they have a contest. And it literally, just like March Madness, 500 cities competing who truly has the shittiest drivers on earth. Because everybody claims to have them, everybody. I'm originally from Maryland. Holy fuck, those fuckers never knew how to drive. So it's really, but everywhere I go, it's that. And now, do you have roundabouts now? Yeah. They're coming. They're fucking coming. Good luck with that. They discovered that. Now everybody's like, city planners are like, oh fuck, they got those roundabouts over in Illinois. We're gonna get those fuckers. Dan Shadwick, let us tell you about VDOT at the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Every night around 8, they decide to shut it down to one fucking lane. So there you are waiting for 20 minutes politely in the right lane, or perhaps waiting to the last minute to merge, which is the smartest thing. And you get to the fucking tunnel, and there's no construction or maintenance being performed. God, I hate that. Or you will see a crew of 5 or 6 supposed workers, all of them looking around, and some guy who's a supervisor also doing nothing. Now they've decided they finally need to enlarge the tunnel to 4 lanes each way. This means they will be constructing it for 5 or 6 years or forever, and there will be no end to it. And to top it all off, they're probably going to decide to charge a toll to get through the goddamn tunnel. As usual, by the time they finally finish it, they'll realize they should have made it 3 lanes each way 30 years ago. This is Ronnie Engelman, hospital parking availability. Chesapeake Regional Hospital has free valet parking. That's unbelievable. Yeah, it's free. And then when you get your fucking bill, you get it and it's like Kleenex $346. But that valet parking was spectacular. So they have free valet parking. I was like, oh, neat. When I went there for some tests, I found out why. They had shit for parking. Handicap, which I needed, was worse. They had 2 small rows for people having medical work done. The rest, all visitors. I don't really like the idea of handing my car keys out to some stranger, let alone letting them drive my car. That day, however, I was in a rental because my regular car was in for repair. It was a used car, and the dealership had clearly forgotten to check the engine. Boy, you could have gone into that for an hour. I wasn't allowed to let anyone drive the car except for myself. After 10 to 15 minutes of coming really close to a panic attack, I finally found a space. That's a beautiful story, Ronnie. and the bill that you paid was for $12,477. And they gave you went in and they went, here's your engine. This is Jay Summers. I'm a 7th grade science teacher, and parents need to know their kids do act like assholes at school. I don't care if Tommy says I didn't do that. I've got a class full of eyewitnesses that says he did. Are you seriously going to tell me you put more faith in the kid who told you he didn't just eat his boogers than in an adult? This is Michael Perry. This will upset you, so close your ears. How do we get a Chinese guy to sneeze on Trump? I thought that was a little sexist. Could have been a woman who could do the same. Possibly a better job. This is from Ray Berry. Our committee debated whether to put you up for the night at the Albemarle Estate Hotel at Trump Winery. Wow, they have 10 luxurious guest rooms. You would only get one. Seamlessly mixing elegant grandeur. Did you write copy for him? With modern convenience and are designed with the most discerning travelers in mind. God knows that's you. Each room features complimentary high-speed wireless internet. Oh boy, I bet you get charged for that someplace else. Large LCD HD TVs, in-room coffee maker, fine Italian Bellino linens. In-room safes, which they check every night, plush bathrobes, digital media library, and marble and brass bathrooms. We decided against it when someone warned, imagine Louis Black in a plush bathrobe. Oh yeah, boy, those Instagram pictures would go out of sight. I wouldn't stay at, that's an interesting thing about that no one is really checking on whether he's still making money off these places because nobody's checking on that. It's just fucking unbelievable. Well, I don't even want to, I can't. This is Candace Catherine Wallace de Melendez. My health insurance is $500 a month. I am a nurse in a hospital. That's fucking cray-cray. And I rarely say cray-cray. Usually at a quiet moment, 2 or 3 people, and I'm usually a little tipsy. And I might say cray-cray, or a game's on. I might use it to a couple of shots that I watch going, well, that's a cray-cray shot. But I've never said it in regards to health insurance. That's nuts. Health insurance is $500 a month. That's completely bullshit. You're a nurse? No, but it's crazy. You don't put $500 a month. I mean, you don't get paid enough. The nurse doesn't get paid enough unless you work there for 112 years. You actually, if you were my mother and were 101, you'd get enough money that $500 might work. I mean, how the fuck do you not work for a hospital and not just they go, part of the deal is you get health insurance? I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's bumfuck stupid. That's just fucking, that's logic. It's not up for discussion. Who's gonna pay for it? The person is working their ass off to fucking make sure you stay alive. The least you can do if you're not gonna pay them is make sure they're alive to keep you alive. This is Beth Moray. I just scheduled a visit to the National Comedy Center and don't see Louis Black on the schedule for Lucy Fest. There's a big festival there in August. I may not be on the schedule now, but I eventually will be on the schedule. I'll be up there for part of that time period, so don't panic. This is Josh Jordan. I've loved your comedy for years. I'm a teacher. My students are particularly bad this year. How can I say fuck you without saying fuck you? I love my job and wouldn't want to lose it. I'll give you a really great piece of advice. This is from my mother, who was brutal as a substitute teacher. And she told this kid once, the best, it went around the school like a bonfire, you know, like a fucking, just crazy. She said that the kid said something, and he went, why should I learn this? You know, and she started giving my mother shit. And my mother walked up to him and looked down at him and said, here's why you should learn this. The reason you should learn this is because, let's say in a year from now, when I drive up to the Sears gas pump and you're there and you take the gas thing out and they're pumping my gas and they're cleaning my windshield, don't make me be the one who says, I told you so. Find the equivalent. since there's no Sears gas station anymore. I was back there trying to figure out what it was. I thought McDonald's, but now they have those screens. We don't even talk to anybody. Okay. This is from Laura Gruffman. These two I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Please tell my brother, please tell my brother that when Mom made up her will, she didn't leave your wife any money because she's married to you. And no, I'm not chipping in $15,000 to your wife for doing her part as a dutiful member of the family and helping Mom over the years with her taxes. Are you nuts? Love you, but don't bother asking me after the dust settles, because it ain't gonna happen. Fuck. For the one who was upset about being safe and stuff, that's another way you can use this thing. If you've got something you really want to bitch about, that's a way to get it off your chest. Okay? She can't really go to her brother and say, go fuck yourself, but I can read it. So if you have something that's really bothering you, I'm here to help you. I love this one. To the old white lady and her friend I served dinner to last week, this is Jesse Prince, who said I was Mexican garbage. You dumb bitch, just because I get dark in the sun and work at a Mexican restaurant doesn't make me Mexican. I'm Japanese, you dumb blind cunt. Shouldn't my eyelids have given that away, or did my white private eyeglasses not magnify them enough for you? If you're gonna be racist, at least pick the right race! And because we're in a place where the Navy is central to, sure. I'm going to read this from William Phillips, and we'll end here. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be in Charlottesville and then Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And I really want to thank you all for coming out tonight. You've been terrific. This is so. Guys, you can leave. You don't need to just shout shit right now, okay? We're almost done. Okay, it's not tough. The door is like fucking right there. I don't believe it's too much. It's too late. I got fucking work tomorrow. God damn it. I might get the coronavirus if I stay up too late. This is from William Phillips. Join the Navy and see the world. A quote that recruiters use to get dumb fucks like me to join. I recently just returned from a 10-month deployment on the USS Abraham Lincoln, which just beat its own record for longest carrier deployment, 294 days. And we didn't see shit! Our first port call was Palma de Mallorca, Spain, which was a beautiful place with great culture and food. Our next port was supposed to be Split, Croatia, but Iran, being the neglected little shit of a child it is, decided to throw a temper tantrum that dragged us into doing donuts off the coast of Oman for 8 fucking months. Do you know what a port called in Duqm, Oman is? Duqm, I think is the way you pronounce it, I'm not sure. Imagine looking at a barren desert with rusted cargo ships alongside the piers with shipping containers forming a perimeter next to the ship. Within this perimeter are food, trinket, and alcohol vendors. And that's it! Imagine over 5,000 people stuck out at sea for months to come back to land, and all they can do is drink. We got drunk here 3 times. Not in a day. We came to this port 3 separate times because the top brass were scared that the Iranians will pull alongside in their uncle's fishing boats with rusted AK-47s. After the Department of Defense grew a pair, we went into the Persian Gulf to Bahrain, where we also got wasted. Then we finally left the Middle East. We went to Hawaii and got home a week later in San Diego, California. And now, when a naive soul asks me, how was deployment? I take a swig of my beer, look him in the eye and say, hey, have you ever heard of a place called Dukem? Thank you, it's been a pleasure spending time with you. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. It is produced by James Salkind. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast. And most of all, thank you, all of you who ranted so well on this show.